Why'd you have a bad day, buddy?
Oh man. Oh man. We'll talk. We'll talk offline. I went live. So we get some I'll tell you what, I'll tell you why. Adjusters, man. Adjusters. They are getting so bold and so obtuse in their reasonings for just flatly cutting valid costs, valid invoices, valid estimates. And what's just getting to me is, what's the end game? What's the point? Um, the insured is not getting the service they need. Contractors are not making good enough money to. The good guys are all going to leave. They're just going to leave. There's two companies in my market that have just flat stopped doing insurance work, and it's just a race to the bottom. It's just a pain in the ass.
Well, and I mean, like, I don't know, like, I feel like if you either have I mean, there's like there, in my opinion, there's three kind of adjusters. There's the old son of a bitches that have been here for so long. They're grumpy. They think everybody's shitty because they've dealt with so many bad contractors, and they won't give you an inch.
Yep.
They're horrible to deal with. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, you got the new guys who have no experience and have no clue what they're doing,
They have no
and they're
idea.
and they're just as bad. But if you can get one of those middle of the road people, someone's got about 5 to 10 years in the industry doing it, those are some of the best adjusters you can work with because they usually have enough common sense and they're not old and bitter yet to, and fight you all the time.
Yeah, that's
Like
rare.
almost all the adjusters I know are like between like 35 and like 52, and they're usually pretty laid back. But it's all the 20-year-olds and early 30-year-old adjusters are all the people very close to retiring that are just like, I'm over this shit.
I am done. All right, let's do a countdown here. All right, all right, all right. What's up, interwebs? What's up, Rebel Nation? Andy McCabe here. Joe Spears over there. This is the Restoration Rebel Roundtable for the. Oh, I'm not wearing a watch. The 6th of March, 2024. 5 days after my almost 50-year birthday, and I feel hungover. I didn't drink, but I feel hungover today. It's a weird feeling. And dealing with Joe, we talked a little bit about this right before we came on, but it was less an adjuster. It was more Wardlaw. Wardlaw is such a waste of space of an organization. They provide no value to the industry. It's like zero value to the industry. They're just somebody's lapdog that carriers have the ability to have this plausible deniability when they're slicing and dicing these valid claims and say, well, that wasn't me. That was our expert. That was our third party review company. But we know full well Wardlaw's only doing what they're told to. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, like I understand if Wardlaw or any of them, if their only guiding light was the standard of care or the international residential building code, that's one thing. But they're also adhering to carrier required guidelines for contractors who didn't sign up for a carrier guideline work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what is annoying as heck, I mean, I mean, like, one of the things, oh, we don't pay for tape. I can get behind the kind of the argument most professional cutter or painters don't have to tape everything. But with the skill set that we see nowadays, like it is such hit and miss. I make all my painters tape it regardless because I don't need
I'm
it
not
screwed up.
trusting a new painter to go not mask. You're just asking for it. Because let's say you overspray, like exterior work is a good example. You overspray onto a car. Who's responsible for that? Well, the painter, right? Well, you should have moved the car, or you should have masked and covered the car. Well, if you're not going to pay me for masking and covering, I'm not going to do the work. Period.
That's like doing a commercial roof job, and if you don't take the time to set up buy the containment tape and put up cones and everything out in the parking lot, and somebody parks and then their car gets rained on by shingles or something, the contractor's going to be responsible. So yeah, that's a cost that you have to push on to whoever's paying the bill to prep the site,
Yeah,
and
and I can
it's
I can hear all those adjusters right now screaming. Those guys that are just in the shadows that are lurking, that never comment, but they're just screaming at their screens right now. Well, that's all included. Masking's included in the line item. No, it's not. It really isn't. Nothing's included. It's one of those. It's
I mean, there's literally a line item that says setting like it's I don't know, can't think what it is off the top, but it says like labor to install drop cloths. Like they're not charging you for the material, but there's a specific line item for the extra labor to do that. Like to physically paint. I mean, you don't have to tape off. You don't have to move furniture to paint something. But if you do, that's why you add the line item to it. And
mhm,
it just blows my mind that this additional cost that we need that obviously gets incurred, they don't want to pass it on.
yeah.
And I mean, it's one of the most frustrating things. Plus, I mean, the amount of stuff I've seen adjusters try to fight you on. And well, the problem with ward law that I have is this here: if you have a
I
really
got
good
all
adjuster,
kinds.
well, like if you have a really good, if you have a well, not a really good, if you have a decent adjuster that you can speak to fluently and talk to, and they have half a sense, usually they'll approve things. But
Mm,
Ward Law acts like, well, we can't approve this because it's outside the guidelines or whatever. Like I tell Ward Law every time, like, hey, like before you approve this here, I mean, I've always went around like I did the backwards way. I would go to the adjuster, hey, let's talk over this estimate first. Let's make sure
mm,
you agree upon it, and then send it to Ward Law if you want and everything for them to validate it. And when they have questions, I'll say, hey, the adjuster's already approved this, this, or this, and they
yeah.
have not a leg to stand on
Yeah, but if you've already gone through that exercise with the adjuster, what's the point of still sending it to Wardlaw?
because everybody has because they need that third party
Well,
set of eyes. I guess
no,
I
it's
don't know.
because the adjusters are required to of part of their SOPs,
No,
right? So common sense has been SOP'd out of the claims environment for adjusters. You can't use common sense if you're an adjuster. The only thing you can do is what you're told, and the only authority you have is what you're given, and that's it. They can't go outside that box, which means the insured ultimately gets a piss poor claims experience and is underpaid for their valid claim every single day. Every day. Ugh.
there's very few claims I know of that. Yeah, I mean, like I'm actually trying to get Milton in here. Milton's
Mm.
got I want to get Milton in here because he will make your head. You'll be like, "Are you kidding me?" He has an adjuster on a fire job right now where this adjuster, Liberty Mutual, wrote demolition. 3 guys, 8 hours each day for 5 days worth of work. $5,467, and it's to gut an entire house. And I'm like, that's not how
Wait,
this works.
is that including dumpsters? Is
No,
it
no,
including
no, he just gave him the dumpster line item he has as uh, paid when incurred for 4 dumpsters for $4,500. But he's using Simbo, and yeah, he literally just said 3 guys, 8 hours, 5 days, done. And it's like a 2,500 square foot home, and
oh,
they're
it's
wanting to give
huge.
him. I was like, "Are you joking with me here, man? Like, no way in heck." I just got done writing a 2,000 square foot home, and I got demo structure, structure had the
Okay.
vacuuming, structure clean, spray and seal. I'm at like 200 grand on it.
And you haven't started the repairs yet.
Yeah, but
Yeah. These
it's a six
things
hundred. If it's a $600,000, I mean, it's almost a $700,000 home, And
Mm,
structure, there's not a lot of structural. It's all cosmetic. The whole house has to go down
mm,
to the studs. So
mm.
2K on the demo, you're probably looking at about 4 to 5K on the repair side. You're going to be at your policy limits there, but it's just enough money. And I don't know anybody that would be like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to break even at $5,700 on this job. Like, no.
No, I mean that's his cost. Who does? And that I had this discussion with another a client of ours today that he was talking about. He actually came up with a pretty good way to do things. It was he's in the LA area and he's having a hell of a time getting cabinets that within the price range that these adjusters are saying. So what he's taken to doing is going getting a wholesale bid. And yes, son. Okay. Wholesale bid, and then asking that wholesaler, "Hey, what's the retail price on those?" He gives them a retail price. So there's your quote from a supplier for the cabinets. And then he puts it in and he marks it up, puts it in his estimate, and marks it up. And then he adds whatever labor he thinks, cabinet labor or finished carpet labor, to install. And that's where he's getting around this. You can't do most houses. You can't do, especially in LA where he's at. You can't do cabinets for $200 a linear foot. You can't. They're 365 all day long, at least. My door's open now. Hold on.
Well, and I think that's a great thing also that you point out, like somebody like me or you, especially in an environment in an area that we're used to working in, we know these prices. 365 is a fair price and everything.
Hmm.
Some of these adjusters have no clue
No clue.
whatsoever, and it's just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I don't know how much longer. I mean, are we going to have this? Exactimate isn't the Bible conversation. The exactimate costs are not true costs. They're historical data. They're average historical data. Are we going to have to talk about this every single day until we die? Is that
As
what it's
long as we
coming
don't
down
talk
to?
about the fact that I shaved, we're good because I just realized how fat I look in this screen. This is why I don't usually shave. No,
I
I
tell you
mean,
what, that's why I don't shave. I refuse. I've got
I
this
had
sign,
so
this
much
this other
gray. I
chin
was like,
hiding under here. Yeah,
chin. I got lots of them. Yeah, you can
chin.
have one.
What are you from
Um,
China? What?
no, but that's the thing is like, Exactimate is a good program, especially if you don't know how to price, but you have to know how to use the program. And when you don't know how to use the program and you don't already have a good idea of what something should cost, you're screwed all beyond belief.
Yeah, you misspoke. You said 2K. You meant 200K.
Did I misspeak? Yeah,
Yeah,
my estimate's like $200,000,
yeah,
and but I mean it includes cleaning the trusses, cleaning the joists, cleaning the stud
yeah.
walls.
It's not just demo. It's
Yeah.
that's demo and cleaning and is it smoke? Is it fire jam? Fire
Oh
job?
yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
a bad
So I mean, it's deodorization, it's cleaning, it's sealing. Yeah,
air scrubbers. I
that's
even
200K
did.
all day long.
Like I already can see on the estimate. Like I did the math, and Exactimate, the math came out to like, I want to say 1,400 hours per
Mm,
Exactimate. And I said, okay, well, divide that by 8 hours per day. I want to have this job done in 8 weeks, which is 2 months. We're going to need on average 5 people out there. So then I said on PPE, 5 guys times two
mm.
suits, just 2 suits a day,
2 a day. Hmm.
times 40 days, that's 8 weeks. That's 400 suits. And I can tell you right now, that is a valid calculation. It's justifiable. And I already know for a fact the adjuster's going to be like, there's no way I'm giving you like
Gonna lose their mind.
$5,000.
I'll
Yeah, they're
give
going to be
you
like,
40 suits.
yeah, like, and then like, I charge like one HEPA filter and carbon filter per week for change out because you both know them running for a week while they're dimming in there. It's going to get clogged full and have to be
Yep,
replaced.
yep.
And I already can see an adjuster. Oh, you don't need to replace a HEPA filter or a carbon filter every once a week. And I'm like, you'll be lucky if I only change it once a week. Are you
Yeah, the hell
kidding
you
me?
don't. Mhm.
And I mean, you got to admit, I got to say though, I love the fact that this is a $200,000 estimate and there's only 66 line items.
It's a beautiful thing.
It makes it so
Uh,
easy for me to justify and be like, look, like it's not even like I'm trying to BS you with a bunch of random stuff. Like demo per room, clean joist, clean truss, HEPA joist, HEPA truss, seal
Yeah.
truss, boom, done. Like it's
Yeah, and
easy.
somebody asked me today, "Well, how much is it gonna cost?" I mean, I had a couple sales calls today and like, "Well, how much is it to write a $50,000 estimate?" And we charge by the hour. I know you guys charge by, a percentage, but I was like, it could be 1 hour, it could be 4 hours,
I
'cause
wrote a $6,000 estimate in 20 minutes. I wrote a $6,000 estimate in like 6 hours, depending on how bad the paperwork is.
well, it's not just that, but it's a paperwork, yes, but it's also, I could get to $50,000 real quick with some high-end flooring. You know, get 3 line items, get me to 50K.
Hmm.
Or, a detailed cleaning and things like that. It takes details and line items. It's gonna take longer to estimate. So I was like, 1 to 3 hours. I just gave him a big fat guess. Who knows?
Well, and it's like I told my gentleman, I was like, and here's the thing, you want to know something super crazy? Let me pull this up so I can actually quote you right here. Okay.
Uh,
I want, because you're going to laugh at this here. So
Hold it up.
I, I did all the labor throughout the entire estimate as HMR
Okay,
because
because it's fire.
because it's fire, so
Yep.
it's a known
Toxic chemicals.
carcinogenic,
Yep.
all that good stuff, right? So, the total value of my fire file came out to 2,000 or $217,000 and then some change.
Okay.
If I hardcore defaulted 100% back to generic default
Non
100%,
HMR. Okay.
yep, it dropped the estimate down $10,000 in all, and that's it. So it's it was like 205, I think, or so.
5%.
Hmm.
Okay.
Now, I'm trying to log in here real quick here.
Right.
It's logging in right now. Let's see here. All right. So if I did that there, it went down to 205.76. And then if I did everything at a CLNR, it went down to 202
Mm.
because
Oh.
because there's a number of line items that are having specialty trades like HVC, electrical plumbing accounted for on the
Mm.
default price list, which I
Okay.
thought was really funny because I would have thought the same thing. I would have thought, oh well, you start at HMR if they want to fight you. Well, okay, let's set up CLNR and everything. But you
Mm.
actually, but still having between 202 and 217, that's about 10 grand buffer zone there. I mean, that's a valid little negotiation pot to work
Sure.
with,
Sure.
and it amazes me how sometimes like people, the only difference between on this price list I was working in, which is in Montana, just so you're aware,
Mhm.
it's less than $9 an hour difference between CLNR and HMR. So you're not even so it was like $8 and like 70 cents or something.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not even like that much of a difference
And
in
how much
price.
of that was wage versus burden?
Oh, well, that's a good question there.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm gonna answer this question here. I don't think it's a question, but I'm gonna answer it anyway. He said, Xactimate is about 2 months behind in their pricing. I don't think that is well, on materials, that's not. They're pretty tight, right? They're pretty up to date on pricing, for materials. Now labor, maybe. Labor and burden, maybe that takes them too much to do all the back end stuff. Um, but the point is, if you're relying on Xactimate to be accurate and up to date, you're you've already lost. That's not the point of Xactimate. Xactimate is an average, historical average, looking backwards. You need to take that number as a baseline, and then do what you need to do to make enough money and to make enough margin for your company.
well, and
So
that's what I explained to my client today was that I was like, look, man, we're not invoicing. This is not services rendered. So you don't at the end of the day, the price doesn't really matter. The only thing that should matter to anybody right now should be is the scope of work outlined in this file in
mhm,
agreements.
yes.
Now, the
Do
average
we agree
price,
on scope? Do we have coverage? Do we agree on scope?
because I told him, I was like, right now I've got you working with 5 guys, 40 days, so 8 weeks doing work. If you end up getting 10 technicians out there and you get it done in 25 days, the price is going to change. It's not like you're still going to expect the 217 because
Because your
you,
general conditions, your overhead's going down, you're getting it done in less time. Yeah.
right. So final invoice for what you actually have, and it's gonna make you look good also when you're like, hey, I know we thought we were gonna be about 217, but we ended up coming in at about 200. Everyone's happy. But I feel like what so many people operate under, whatever they turn in that first go around is what they have to turn in on the back end go around,
Mm.
and they can't justify everything a lot of times because they end up getting more people. Well, we got done in 25 days, so I'm still going to bill 40 days. No, you shouldn't do that.
Mm.
But
No.
they don't. And I've heard the argument. Well, we entered into this contract under the assumption that this job was going to be $217,000. That's why we took the job. Now, just because we got done quicker doesn't mean we're doing it for less money. And I'm like, but you're billing it on an itemized system, showing
Yeah.
with hours involved. You should be
You could
associated.
do it. You could do it that way. You could there is a way. You can still charge the 217 or whatever that number is, but that means you do a change order on day 1 that contractually separates you from the scope that got you the 217. And that's the only way to do it legally. Otherwise, I would say that's fraud, right? You're saying it's gonna take this long, and you're charging according to it's gonna take this long, and it doesn't take that long. You should absolutely reduce your invoice. You should absolutely reduce your bill.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, and I even told my client, I was like, let's just, I was like, let's say you get 8 guys out there, 2 suits a day, and you get done in 25 days. That's still the same. I mean, that's still the same amount of suits. So you're not even making any different money, but at least you're presenting it you're updating it as need be. And
Same amount of suits, same amount of labor, really. It's just less equipment rental time, and it's a less trips to the job. Your price should go down. But that would be proportionate to how much labor is in there versus how much equipment.
yeah,
It's not going to go down. It's not going to go down half, right? You get it done in half the time doesn't mean your charge should go down half. It's just all
no,
still based on the labor.
I mean, you lose about 6,000 on the air scrubbers because this house needs 3 large air scrubbers. So three at 40 days, switching it down to 25, you go to like $10,000, whereas originally you were at 16. And I mean, you're not losing. Besides that little bit, I mean, fire jobs. I mean, fire jobs for the most part are just pure labor. There's not a lot of overhead and materials, so it doesn't really matter how quick you get it done. It's just you let go of some of that equipment time.
Yeah, like you gotta let it go. It's being honest. Here's someone that thinks that actually getting subs and marking them up 20% is a good thing. Um, it's not. You're going to make 16% gross margin. What's your overhead of your business? I would bet your overhead of your business is 16%, right? So you're getting a sub in there and you're managing them, you're paying them, and you're not making any money at 20%. You're just not. You need to be in the 40 to 50% range. Yeah, you need a 1.4 markup, 1.45 on sub costs and materials in order to
When
make a
I was
proper
growing
margin.
up in the 90s and 2000s, I know that seems so far away now for people. My dad taught me it, like when I first got my cars. My dad told me, you know, whatever your material cost is, they're going to probably charge you double that price for your materials, and
Mhm.
then and then they're going to probably charge you on labor, you know, your
The same
for
amount.
well, the same amount, or it's going to be like, if they think it's going to take 5 hours, they're going to charge you for 5.5. So that'd be what, 8.5 hours to give them a little bit of wiggle room.
Mhm.
And that's what they're going to charge you on. Like you have to mark up things. And just like what last week was it? We were talking about material markup and how it's not
Mm.
applied to these projects.
Mhm.
I mean, I mean, if you guys don't know, like, if everyone here knows, if you send that does do ITEL, if ITEL comes back and says it's $1.58 a square foot for carpet, That's how much you're supposed to let your homeowner know they have for carpet. You're not supposed to tell them, well, I got to take my cut out of the material, so that's $1.12 you get. No, they're owed $1.58 carpet, and if you can get it for cheaper, great. But it needs to be an equivalent product type. And
Well, with a caveat, I would say yes, except you're not gonna pay retail, right? You quote retail and you charge retail, but you're not gonna pay retail when you go get that material. That's part of being a contractor. Is you That's part of, it's how you make some of your margins is you get the material for less than what you're charging, right? You
insurance owes for MSRP, the
retail,
market, the retail
MSRP.
value. But and I feel like a lot of, but I mean, that's the thing is like, if you're owed a dollar, if my client's owed $1.59 on carpet, go pick out $1.59 carpet. Now, if I can find that carpet for cheaper, that saves me money. Obviously, not, that money stays in my pocket, but that's my benefit. That's not your.
Mhm.
You don't get a chart find $160 or $1.60 carpet, and I go find it for $1.58. Like, that's not how the game works there.
Right.
But that's what most people have to do just to make their numbers meet, because they're not adding markup to the material. They're not adding enough overhead and profit for their company to be profitable.
Mm.
Because I mean,
Right.
as I was having to talk with somebody the other day about it, and you guys have to remember, you've got to finance the job, because we all know nobody gets 100% of the money up front. So you got to have the
Mhm.
money in the account to finance the job. You got
Mhm.
to pay interest on all those accounts that are incurring interest because you didn't pay for it in full, because you got LAR accounts and credit cards.
Mhm. Mhm.
You've got to save some, you got to pay your workers, you've got to pay all your overhead no matter what. You've got to also have some money put back in the business account for the business to have a survivability. Plus, you got to also, before you can even figure out how much profit you make, you got to cut a little bit of that money off and set it to the side, because everybody has to warranty their work on typically what,
Mhm.
1 to 2 years.
Mhm.
Some TPAs are 5 years on craftsmanship. Fuck
Oh,
that. Like, fuck that. Like, I'm
damn.
not gonna come out 5 years later and be like, oh, your fan's shaking. That's our fault, But you need to have at least, have money set back, so if something happens over the next year, you can go out there and take care of warranty work. And I
Mhm.
feel like
Mhm.
not enough people are taking into account all those factors before they determine, oh, well, we spent 100,000, we built 120, we made what, 16%, we're good.
Mhm.
That's not how it works.
No. 16% is you're dying. You're not making money at 16% gross. You're just not. He didn't have resources to do some of the things like electrical and HVAC. I worked for other companies.
That's why they get the
But
sub bids.
this guy's getting the sub bids. So, I would tell you right now, I could beat any sub. Electrical sub, I could beat that number. I could better their number by at least 25-30% using Xactimate because I know how to use Xactimate properly, and
I,
Joe could
I
too.
I will say that, for a lot of things, yeah, for a lot of things, once you realize, I mean, just how many things are not part of the standard line item that you can add
Mhm.
into it to make it. You can, like, a great example is a water heater.
Mm.
Vast majority of people will just put in the remove, replace water heater. You also got to put in there for if it's
Supply,
a gas, the
the
supply line,
pan,
the drip pan,
seismic.
if seismic strap, if you're in a seismic zone, an expansion tank on top of it if you need to, foam insulation around the pipes if you have to
Mhm.
worry about freezing conditions. There's 7 or 8 things that just for a standard water heater, and 90% of people I see just put in there, remove and replace water heater, 40 gallons, 6 year, and that's all they leave it there at. They don't,
And they wonder why, "Oh, I can't make enough money on my plumbing." Well, it's not because
one
the
of the
plumbers are charging more. It's because you're not using the program properly.
Well, and I mean, one of the most common, especially for all you people that are doing fire rebuilds and reconstruction stuff, like one of the biggest ones I see all the time is like mineral wool and like fire caulking when you have to
Mm.
have those for fire code areas. Like, I don't know a single electrician that does that. They'll bid it and then you have to go in and do it afterwards or whatever. And I don't remember. I mean, I hardly ever see anybody put any of that stuff on there for fire protection between layers, and things. And those are easy ticket items that you can charge for that are valid.
Mhm.
How many people don't put on their echelons around the before the shutoff valve or right after the shutoff valve to cover up the hole in the back of the cabinet. or
Oh, that
escutcheon,
little
sorry,
trim piece?
the escutcheon, the
Okay.
escutcheon ring.
That doesn't come with the shutoff valve?
No, you ever
Doesn't
go to
come with
Lowe's and
the
buy a
angle
shutoff?
stop?
You go to Lowe's and buy a shutoff valve. It's in a little plastic bag with a shutoff valve. That's it. There is no escutcheon ring. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
so you got to add the escutcheon rings. How many?
Does
I mean, how?
does Actionable catch that? I've never seen Actionable tell me about that.
I don't know if it has or not. I mean, I just always do it.
You're
But
right, right. That
I
makes
mean,
sense.
how many people don't put when they put in a new door? Do they forget to put on there the door stop
Mm.
or on the
Yep.
water mitigation job? And you guys detach and you're taking all the baseboards off. I don't know how many times I see that people don't charge, detach and reset at point 0.5, or just if you want to do it as remove, you can. I don't care. But they don't put in there to take the door stops off the baseboard so
Mhm.
that way, and then save it. Because they're saving it. Like it's lit. It's I mean, there's so many little nuanced things that can easily make your file either go well below budget or right where you need it to be at.
Mhm. Or way over. Had a wow, just been at work, I pull everything that goes with all those line items. I had a $1 million job, but only 1 room burnt. The rest of it was smoke damage. Yep, okay. I only have one. I've only done some rebuilds, so that side is new to me. I always ask questions when doing something new, and I utilize Google for components to different. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Makes
Well,
sense.
here,
Keep on
since
keeping
we
on.
all right, here, Andy, let's play a little game here since we got some people actually interjecting, talking about fires. Me and you are here.
Sure.
All right, so I'll share my screen here, and let's. This is like I said, this is a brand new fire I just wrote today. Let's see if you have what things like people might say or what you would say. So just so everybody is aware on this fire, this is
I'm gonna go full screen here. Oh,
there.
full screen. There we go.
There's my roof. So I have the main house here, which is all smoke damaged. Um, and then I guess I need to take that off there. That garage. So the garage here
Is it
is
below
is
level?
well, no, I have the garage as a separate level
Okay.
because which actually right there I figured out one of my mistakes. Ha! But the garage I have it separated because the garage is a source area, so I don't know. Only thing in the garage I have going on in there is soda blasting because I don't know if it's going to be spray sealed or salvageable after the people get out there and take a look at it. But
Sure.
we're gonna soda blast what we can so the engineer can go out there and take a look and verify that all the wood's going to be fixed.
Okay. Okay.
Is that a fair assessment? Would you say?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had 2 recently where the garage was a source, and we couldn't get into the garage because the fire investigators wouldn't release it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we were done with the rest of our estimate before we could even look at the garage.
And just so some people can see, let me see if I can find where this. Well, anyways, so like
Soda blasting, soda bla but you're not deodorizing. Okay.
I have in this file here. Here is my air scrubbers, and you can see here the calculations I used to get
6
my.
6 changes per day.
Yeah, yeah. I have total square footage of the property, 6 air changes per day divided by 60 minutes equals my number.
Mhm.
Now you're going to see that the V here shows different. If you show F here, it's a little bit different because I've got the garage and the crawl space being added in, but so I did it before I'm only air scrubbing the main living house part. I'm not scrubbing
Oh,
the crawl
that's
space and
right.
everything
That
else.
makes sense.
So, I did my math, and if you guys are doing math, by the way, RUP, what is it? It's volume times 6 divided by 60, and let's just do divided by 13.99 because that's the top end of a large. I need three. I need three machines. So I got three machines. I've got three HEPAs, three carbons, and then I got deodorizing the main living structure.
Okay.
Easy. On the main level here, I've
So
got my
that's
attic.
27,000 just air scrubbers. Okay.
Yep,
And
27.
deodorization. Okay.
Yep. Then on the main level, not so that doesn't include the garage. I've got clean the truss systems, HEPA vacuum the truss, clean the truss, seal the truss. Same with the ceiling joist. Same with the walls, and then same with the floor.
Mhm.
Pretty simple and easy. And then every room afterwards is demo per room.
Mm.
Obviously, a bedroom line item here does not does not include fireplace mantle, fireplace insert chimney or cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
And it even
Do
says here
you
in the
do you
note here,
always copy and paste the descriptions into your F9s?
not every single line item ever, but there's quite a few
Okay.
that I will use just because like on this one here, I want it to call attention that this does not include these items here, and
Right.
cabinets and the fireplace are present in my living room.
Mm.
And I want to call attention to this note right here. Demolition per square foot of floor area may reflect the square footage costs associated with gutting a room to the rough framing and subfloor while leaving the rough plumbing, ductwork, and electrical intact. So even
Oh,
though up here it
I
says,
learned something new. Wait, what?
so this includes
Oh, so it doesn't require you to remove the plumbing and electrical,
the
but you
ductwork.
have the
Yes,
option to include. Okay, okay,
yeah. So even though says it includes ductwork, rough electrical, blah blah, doesn't necessarily have to include that parts in it.
okay. So that avoids the argument of, well, you charged me and it should, you didn't do this. You didn't
Yeah,
remove the plumbing, so I don't owe you that full amount. Okay, I get that.
right. So I have my little built-in cabinet there. I have my cabinet granite top. I have my fireplace mantle, and then I did a bid item here because they have a fireplace, and I can't tell from the photos I was given if it's a gas powered, if it's an electric, or if it's a
Hmm.
true wood burner. So I have it as a
So
bid
you just
item
left it
here
open. Yep.
and just left it open. Same thing with the everything else is all one line item. Then I get to my kitchen. Kitchen demo per line item says it does not include detaching, resetting, or removal of appliances.
Mm.
So here's all this. Here's all the appliances that are coming out.
Demo plus appliances. Nice.
Hallways one line item. Laundry room doesn't include the appliances again, so I put the washer and dryer to be removed.
I like
Which
that. I'm stealing that, Joe. I'm using that.
uh, you
I like
know, here's in the utility room. Now there's not a utility demo room line item, so I use the kitchen laundry room because I feel like that's
Sure.
a fair trade off.
Yep.
And then I just put a bid item here that says removal of water heater, capping lines, and other related for the utility room.
Mm.
And then I put one in here for furnace, removal of the HVC system, excavating of the AC freon lines, and other work required in the utility room. And I'll just let them, I'll get a bid on this here. I'll add 20% onto it. We'll be good.
Mhm.
And then everything else, as you can see here, all these line items, there's just one line item per room. I mean,
So at 20%, you're gonna be you or your client, they're gonna be essentially throwing in the, plumbing at cost. They're gonna be throwing in the HVAC at cost, right? They're not making any money on those 2.
but effectively at the same time, though, I'm not having to find in a situation like this here. I feel, on a demolition side, I feel bid items are okay because
Okay,
all I'm doing is making a phone call saying, "Hey, come out here and pull this out. Make sure it's not going to flood the house when you leave. Cap lines off, whatever you need to do. Let me know when you're done." And my guys aren't going to be there today. Click, hang up,
okay.
I'm done. I'm making 20% for a phone call. Now, I'm not a fan of bid items on reconstruction and
I
putting it
gotcha,
back
I
together
gotcha.
again.
Okay.
In my garage here, like I said, I got soda blasting the attic trusses. I got soda blasting the ceiling, the walls, and the floor.
You like soda over dry ice?
I mean, I've always I like soda because I can breathe in it and I don't have to worry about oxygen deficiencies.
Well, you don't
Plus,
have to if you're doing supplied air, you don't have to worry about any of it.
I know, but and then in the crawl space, I got
Okay, so someone let me ask you this. Where's your line item to clean up the soda?
that's a good line on that I might have missed out on. So,
Because that soda blasting, it generates, there's I looked it up once. It generates like a certain number of cubic feet
well,
of
well,
debris and
let's take a
soda,
look at this. So if I go to my
and the line
garage
item
here,
does not include that cleanup. Show
so
it. Maybe I'm
so
wrong.
so this is coming up with soda blasting of 104.72 bags
Yeah.
of, of soda machine now. And then I can go in here and I can go to my information tab and I can see that uh, soda bicarbonate baking soda, a 50-pound bag.
So how
So
many times
that's
50 pounds?
104.72. So that's 5,200 pounds of soda.
Pounds?
Of soda.
Okay. And where's the cleaning line item?
Exactly. So see,
You've
this is
got to vacuum up and dispose of 5,000 pounds of soda. That's why I always go dry ice. But yeah, you've got to do it. You and oh man,
but even still, you're still gonna have to charge even on dry ice because all the char and stuff that's gonna fall off, you're still gonna have to charge that as well.
but man, if you're running an air filter and you're already, I mean, you already got in to do HEPA, that pretty much covers it. I mean,
Okay.
you're not creating 5,000 pounds of debris when you're dry ice
Okay.
blasting.
So and let's just say, okay, so 5,000, let's see here, remains exactimate estimates 108 or 105 bags at 50 pounds per bag. So, which equals, and we'll just do the roundup number there. So
We're gonna have to
105,
take a wild ass guess. Let me see if
50.
someone in the hold on, I'm gonna exit full screen, come back here. Um, yeah, hey, Peanut Gallery, what do you think? How long do you think it'll let me ask a different question. How many pounds and include emptying the shop vac multiple times, how many pounds of debris do you think a guy could suck up and dispose of in an hour?
I would see if it was me, I would probably be putting it in like my guys are probably going to be using shovels and just and push brooms and just shoveling it all up whatever they can. So let's just say we're going to do um oh, let's see here. I'd say maybe what? Let's see.
Let's do 50 pounds an hour.
Divided by 50. Okay, so my calculation exactly is going to be RUP round up 5,250 pounds divided by 50 per hour. That's going to be 105 hours, so $7,000 to clean it up.
Yep,
I mean,
valid all day long.
well, I don't know if it's a 50-pound bag. I
That's a
mean,
ton. That's a ton, a
okay,
literal ton of soda you've got to clean up.
that's a good one there. I have to think into that there because I feel like we could fill up like a like a 40-gallon trash can, like a Rubbermaid trash can with scoop shovels and fill that thing up pretty full, probably
Mm,
in about 15-20 minutes.
okay, okay.
But then again, I mean that thing's probably going to end up weighing. That's probably going to be like
You
a
can't
hundred and
carry it.
yeah.
You can't carry that.
So I mean, I'll tinker around with that one there. But that's a good point. Maybe dry ice would be better. Um,
But, I mean, you gotta have, it's not like you can just well, you can't do it with soda blasting either, but it's not like you can just go buy the setup and start. There's a learning curve, and there's a lot of ways to do it wrong.
uh huh. And then, in my general section here,
That's a lot of money for cleanup. Well, I mean, maybe. I mean,
I mean,
we're making this up as we go along here, folks.
let's say here. Okay, so let's just say round up. Let's say a normal person can do 50 pounds per hour. Would you say that's one person or two people doing it, Andy?
Well, I think
I feel like
we
you
always
could.
have to default to one person. I mean, you're talking to just a yield.
Well,
Um,
I mean, if I say 5,000 pounds and and one person can do it 50 pounds an hour, and I got two guys out there working, then that's going to make my new number. That's going to be 53 hours worth of cleanup
no, no. You have to do it by whatever the labor yield is. You just reduced your labor by half, but
because I said two people, so they're doing 100. I mean, effectively, I'm saying they're doing 100 pounds an
if you
hour
use
because
2 people, you're yeah, exactly, exactly.
and here's the thing is, I mean, on the soda side here, they're saying that they can do the direct yield for blasting soda is only 66 an hour.
Well, you have to move a whole lot slower when you're
Yeah.
running the wand. Um, yeah, when you're cleaning it up, yeah, you're shoveling it or
I'll have to
yeah,
play around. I'll play around with that there. That's a good one. I'll put a little post on. We'll get some information
sure.
from people on.
Yeah.
You know.
I
Um,
I guarantee the vast majority of people are not even thinking about the cleanup of that stuff.
mhm. Now, and just because since I didn't have that in here originally here, I'm going to clear that out real quick. I'll make a note for that for me to look at it. And then like I did, like I wrote my whole estimate up and I went to my labor summary here and I said, oh, look, It's 1,284.95 hours right now that I've
Mm,
changed the estimate. I don't care about the electrician part here, and I don't care about my
negligible.
supervision hours, just the people on site working. So 1284. So 1284.95. And I even screenshot this, which I did. I screenshot it back before I changed it. It was 1400.
Mm,
And you can see here where, oh, no, you can see here where it said 1481.
mhm,
And I said, this is how many hours Exactmate says it's going to take working a standard 8-hour shift. This would be 18 or 185.22 or 186 hours. And
mm,
then in the hopes to have this work completed in 2 months, 8 weeks, or 40 days, a crew size of 5 people will be required. I put that right there at the very first line item of the estimate. So they know that from then on out throughout this estimate, everything's based on a 5-man, 40-hour project.
mhm.
And then, I have my asbestos and lead here. Even though this house was built in like 2018, I have asbestos and lead
Yeah.
here
Yeah, you
testing.
can't rely on dates anymore.
You know, I've
Age
got
of
equip
house is irrelevant now.
I've got my equipment set and take down here. I just have it at 6. I'm given 1 hour for each of the air scrubbers because that should cover the initial hookup, the tear down, plus manipulating them, changing filters out, anything else I might need to do at the end of the job.
Mhm,
I put in a labor supervisor hours here, and I put down here 1 hour per day of job site supervision to ensure work is progressing correctly, plus an additional 20% for meeting ELE, plumbing, HVAC subs for specialty work.
okay.
So that came out to 48 hours. I feel like that's a fair number. I mean, I know a lot of people that'll try to do, well, they'll try to say it's 14%, or they'll try to make it 15% is what they want to charge.
Mm,
0.79 multiplied by 0.15. I'm not, you are, there's no way in heaven or hell you're ever going to convince me that you're going to have your project manager out on this job site for 222 hours.
wow, that's a
And
lot.
you think about this here, 222.27 hours divided by 8
Well,
hours per day,
how many days did you have? You had 40 days?
40
No,
days.
40
And
days.
this is saying if you did 15% on your supervision, you're going to spend 28 days, full 28 full 8-hour shifts managing this project. That's never going to fly.
No. I go for an hour a day at times 40, and you're an hour
I,
and 20? Yeah.
well, yeah, I had 20% on there because,
Oh,
and I'll do
okay.
because I like I said, I mean, I'll do that on the recon side, 20 or 30% on the recon side to take care of like taking the client shopping at Lowe's and dealing with them
Mm,
picking out materials.
yeah.
I did my note here on PPE, 5 techs, which is what we base it on, 2 suits per day, which I think that's even being light. It's probably going to be 3 times
Mhm.
40 days. That's 400 suits. That's $6,000 in PPE by itself. One,
Yeah,
I
legit.
mean,
And
I've got my,
there's nothing in here that I'd argue with. You know what I tell adjusters when they say, "Well, that number's too big, that's too much." I said, "Okay, you saw my calculation. Let me see your calculation." And most of the time, their calculation is, "That's what I felt like."
yeah.
Like, come on, man.
I mean, I think 4 20-yard dumpsters is might be a little bit heavy, might be just right. I don't really quite know. I think it's probably
Well,
going to be
with that
three
big a
dumpsters.
house?
I think it'll be 3.5 dumpsters, and then that dumpster will stay out there, and someone else will. They'll.
No. No, I think it's more.
You think it's gonna be more for 2,500 square foot home?
Well, how many square foot of walls do you have?
6,000 square feet of
Okay.
drywall
And then
on the
insulation?
walls. Well, that's on the
Walls and
walls.
ceilings.
Actually, this here calculation is messing up here. So this is with sheathing. So this needs to be e with sheathing is going to be exterior walls minus the interior walls. Oh, no, I didn't mean to look at there. So this is EW. This is W minus exterior walls.
Mm.
Come on, work with me here today. There we go. The
There you go.
foundation, and then I have on here clean foundation wall. Yes, I know the picture shows concrete, but this is for physically cleaning the exterior wall sheathing between the studs.
Mhm.
So EW, clean
Yeah,
the stud walls.
that that feels like, and I'd have to do some math, it's hard to convert square foot material into a cubic foot or a cubic yard. but it's also by the pound, right? A 20-yard dumpster is not. They don't. The dump doesn't charge you by volume; it charges you by weight. Um, so I bet there's 5 or 6 20-yarders in that structure before
There
you're said and done.
definitely could be. Oh, by the way, here's one I didn't know if you knew about. If you're doing insulation on your sketch, right, and you just do ceiling, it's only going to take into account this much of the ceiling, right?
Okay, yeah,
For,
your
for the,
in between, your
but
interstitial, your wall space is
but
not counting.
it's not gonna take your interstitial. So if you're doing your ceiling calculation for like insulation guys,
Mm,
you can do TSWF, which is total square feet of all floors. That means
okay.
that it'll take account the floor plus the stud work area.
Oh, huh. What's the difference? 1783 to what?
Well, total square foot, 1969.
Okay, couple hundred square foot. All right.
I mean, like I said, I mean, me personally, on this one here, I mean, I'm already so high up, I'm not that stressed out about it. But it was something I did
Yeah,
learn about recently.
we blow it out.
If you are on this yellow folder, guys, you can use things like interior walls, square foot of all
Mhm,
the interior walls. You can use
mhm.
linear exterior walls. I mean, there's
EW
all
is one of my favorites. Yeah.
but I have all the HEPA vacuuming there and stuff. I mean, it's not, I then down here I have in here, a plumbing bid item for winterizing the home because this came in February and it's still in the
Mm,
30s out there.
mhm.
And then I have 3 connections here. Electrical bid for electrician to inspect the main breaker, disconnect all the previous breakers, install new dedicated breakers for use during the demo. And I get that this line item is technically this line item just says material and labor to make a power connection for any standard size piece, does not include power panel breaker or power control box. I get that.
Hmm.
But here's the thing I want you to understand. Here we're gonna hook up
This is
a
hard wiring. Okay.
like, yeah, like hardwiring it in. Like, oh, we don't have a 220 outlet for our power box because they have a gas range and a gas dryer. So I'm gonna have my electrician hardwire my 220 power distribution box straight into the electrical panel.
Yeah, my little logo is getting in the way. Um, Scroll down so I can see what that number is. Oh, you can't scroll down. Oh, there you go.
For one it's $748 for one charge.
Whoa, what's the electrical hookup? The electrical hookup's less than that. Like
The
what's that line item?
elec
Um, TMP? Yeah.
TMP what? Uh P or power usage,
No.
the power hookup's 374,
Power hookup.
but this
Yeah.
line item is for for a temporary power meter base. That's
Yes.
this
Okay.
does not include.
That doesn't include anything else
Yeah.
either. Ah,
So
okay.
I feel like,
All
I
right.
mean,
I
I
like it.
so like if I'm hooking up,
Equipment connection. That's a new one.
if I
ELE Econ. I like it.
even though this doesn't include breakers, I feel like at $2,700 for an electrician to go out there, pull all the old breakers from out of the house, so all the circuits are dead, make
Mhm.
sure that the main supply is still can be re-energized that box, install 3 or 4 new breakers, and then have those hardline wires coming out with like 2 4-plug 110s, like 2 boxes
Mhm.
with 4 plugs on it, and then 1 or 2 220 outlet plugs on there. I guarantee you I can get that done for way less than $2,700 most
2600.
likely.
Well, especially where you're at in that weird twilight zone of the world you live in.
But I mean, I this is one of my favorite line items to use on a water job because like I said, oh, my
Ah.
homeowner doesn't have they have a gas range and they have a gas dryer, so there's nowhere to plug this in. Call
Mhm.
an electrician out there. I guarantee you, I mean, even if you do a one count here for 800 and for $880, most electricians I know are going to come out there. They'll come out, hook it up, and then come back out and unhook it for me for in my area, $600. I'll
Mhm.
make $200 on it, like all
Yeah.
day, $200 to $300.
All
Why
day
not?
long. Yeah. All right. We're going on an hour here.
Oh, we already,
Anyone from the
dang.
peanut gallery want what else do you want to see Joe do with this demo smoke fired
Oh,
demo?
wait. The one thing I didn't do yet because I was waiting for you. How do you do your material markup?
My material markup.
Yeah.
You mean
because
besides the O&P?
yeah, because my overhead and profit is for my general conditions, but I
Okay.
need job specific markup for my materials because, like right here in the living room.
Well,
Well,
I
I mean,
do it
if
with a custom price list,
okay,
but
you do it with a
how do
custom
you
price
do
list,
it?
but right here, guys, you can see I've got $30,000 worth of materials being applied to this file right now.
Mhm.
What's a standard interest rate on a credit card?
16%.
So okay, so multiply that by 0.16. Is that APR? Is that annual or is that?
That's
I
and
don't own credit cards. I'm sorry. Guys, don't ever ask me about credit cards. I don't even own one.
don't
I've
ask me
never.
about mine either because mine are in the
But I mean,
20s.
if you're getting 16% on your number here and you got to wait a month, like that's a lot of money right there. If that's at 16%.
Mm.
So
So would
what
you advocate taking that number times a regular markup for materials 1.4?
I would say on average, you're going to see the bigger the job, the lower you have to have markup on things. I would say like
Yes, I
just because of the
follow.
economy of scale. So,
Yep.
if it's a real small job, you might do 30-40% markup. If it's a real large job, you might only do 15-20%.
Okay.
But if I need to do
That's
markup,
something I've never
guys,
thought about before in that way, but doing the materials, the components report, that is ostensibly that's your retail cost for all materials in that job.
right.
So you
So
could apply a markup to that. Yeah, and O&P is not for materials, that's for your business.
general overhead for your,
So you could put a separate line item in there.
or
Oh, that's smart. That's
instead of having
smart.
to make us, here's what a lot of people will do is they'll do like additional charges and they'll say
Mhm.
markup, and then they'll do the math, which we said it was. Shoot. Uh-oh, I already forgot it. So hang on. Now I gotta stop what I'm doing. I gotta go back over here.
35,000
I gotta
something,
go to
yeah,
my components. I'm gonna go back in here and I'm gonna say, okay, so this is
30,000.
3286.50. All right. So we're gonna save that here and we're gonna pop that in the corner there. Okay. So a lot of people want to do it like this, guys. Additional charges, markup, and they're gonna say, well, I want to make 20%. So multiply this number by 20%. I'm gonna put in here 60, 57, 30. And now, I might even be nice to say, 20% on
Material markup.
materials at, oh shit, I already forgot the number because, there we go. At
30,286.
30,000 to 86.50. Okay, cool. Now you can do this here. And when you do this, uh-oh,
Not letting you. It
there we
doesn't
go.
like you.
Did it save it? It didn't. Hang on. We're just going to put it in here again. Markup, and we said it's 657.30. And we're going to, and yes, we wanted this applied overhead and profit, so we're going to hit OK. Come on, give it a second to think.
Do you have to put a fee note in there before it'll let you?
No, no, not usually. I mean, I can, like I said, uh, material
Flat
markup.
fee, okay.
You can do percent of the coverage, items, personal
Mm.
days, or
Yeah,
labor
yeah,
hours,
yeah.
but that's all you can do. You can't do anything else. And
Mm.
then I don't know why
Yeah,
it's not. I don't know why
your
it's not
neck's
taking it, guys.
broken.
But when you do that, it's going to put a little. Hang on here. Let me see if I. Oh, hang on. Um, let me take the cover sheet off here. Um, it puts a
Oh,
little
okay.
one line item on there.
You do have Actionable, right?
Yeah.
Alright, turn it on. Copy it.
Oh, that's
Copy it
probably
in.
why I got kicked. I got logged
Oh,
out by
someone
somebody.
logged you out. Okay.
That's why I was not able to do what I was trying to do here. But let's okay. You guys want to see what the actual has to say to Joe Spurs?
Well, Watley wants to see it, so what Watley wants, Watley gets.
All right. Fire, duplicate, fire action.
I am dying. I'm gonna go full screen for this action right here.
Hey, Watley, if you're listening, I need it to just be applied to my carrier profile, man. Come on now. Like just allow it to be applied. That'd be great. All right. So let's see here what this says. Estimate items, and we'll turn our little thing on here.
Oh, we got 11. Well,
Let's
it's
see a little.
32, but
All right, so we'll go 11. So crawl
while
space
you're
motion.
listening, Watley, find a way so I can bypass all the cautions at the same time.
You can.
I know.
Oh,
No,
oh no, you
you
can't on the
cannot.
couch.
No, you
You can only.
cannot.
Oh, ooh. So okay, so number 77. Crawl space
Moisture,
motion protection may warrant
hydrated
hydrated
lime.
lime.
Oh, that's for cleaning up sewage, so that doesn't
I don't
apply.
care.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
not applicable. Crawl space protection may warrant seam tape.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that's a good point.
So let's see how with that one, guys. MPRCSVT. That's $300 that can be added onto it.
There you go.
Cool.
Boom.
May warrant damp proofing asphalt. What? I've never even heard of
Okay, I'm
this.
confused by that one, but
Well, let's see what this one is. This is MPRD
and by the
DMP.
way, if anyone's watching and they want to know what this is, go to getinsights.org and figure it out. This is the game changer for professional Xactimate estimators. This is the actionable profile.
Asphalt wall notably applied to the outside of the exterior wall. So I'm not messing with the outside of the exterior wall, so I don't need that there. So
Okay,
bypass.
bypass.
Crawl
Okay,
space may warrant waterproofing via sheet membrane.
a lot of
DMEM.
crawl space stuff here. Okay,
Foundation waterproofing primer, self-adhering sheet membrane. Oh, this is like if you're doing a hardcore environmental waterproofing and you're going to have it
yeah, but we're not
painted up
doing
the sides.
repairs either, really, are we?
No,
So this is all demo.
this is only repair here because I'm never going to. You should never pull a vapor barrier out, guys, and just leave it exposed ground. Even if they're going to put a better one in later as a water, if you're doing a water job, fire job, put some vapor barrier back down.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
you have to.
we might
Otherwise,
want to
you're
need
asking for trouble.
wash granite. Okay, so we're gonna skip all these. We're gonna skip this one and this one, this one, this one, and this one because I don't bypass. Select reason, blah.
Nice.
All right. So then
I
HMR
love
air
it.
scrubber incongruent
Much
with the
love,
size.
Watley. Much love.
Whoa, what? So
Much love, Watley.
19 HEPA filter size is a large.
Oh,
Air
I gotta go
scrubber
full
size
screen again.
is
I can't really
incongruent
see.
with the filter size. No, that's
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's not a large.
this says
That's
large right here
oh
for
wait, it
negative.
does say large.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, that's a large to be used
Well, it
with
could
extra, extra
be.
large. Yeah,
Huh.
like this is just the large one here because so that just must be a bad trigger on them because there's your
Yeah.
regular.
So if just for guys like you and I, if you hit bypass and then you hit custom user defined and you say something like I used the right one, it looks like a bad trigger, they
Mhm.
read every single one of these. This is one of their main sources for bug fixes for the actionable profile.
Well,
Correct me if I'm
cool.
wrong,
Yep.
Wally. That's my understanding of it.
All right, so let's see here. Line item 82, we have a one count here for that waterproofing membrane, which we didn't need, so we can take that off. So there's
Yeah,
nothing there. Cross
man,
category inclusion of
we're
water line.
finding thousands of dollars here.
Cross category inclusion of water line items in
Mm,
HMR. So
yeah, you're gonna
why
get
would
that.
that be? Well, that's because I forgot. We now have an HMR EQ line item, guys. Didn't
Oh, that is
ah
new. That is new. And look at
uh
that. And the warning went away. Okay.
and like I mean the difference here is seven, is I mean it's a $9 difference. I mean,
Yep.
it's not a
Yep.
massive difference, but that is that's still 424, 475. I mean, that's still $50 that it found on just one
Yep.
little trigger there.
Just one trigger.
Building department fees may be warranted. I'm not doing repairs, so I don't
Yeah,
need to
that's
worry about.
something. Yeah, exactly. But that's not. I have yet to integrate building department fees into my SOP. Maybe I need to.
Zero quantities. Well, this is because I have a 0 for 3 and 4 on these here.
Well, you have a
It's
note that says as in
well, I yeah,
pending.
I
Yeah.
have them.
Okay. Okay, that
Oh,
makes
yeah,
sense.
I just have them. And if you guys don't know how to do a note, You go to unit pricing down here, and you click on note, and you can make the smart list say whatever you want.
Mhm.
So I can put a note in here that just says, open item, and now it'll
One
say
of my
open item.
favorite notes is adjust or deny.
Guys, I'm going to tell
They'll
you
come
right.
in, remove this, and I'll leave it in my estimate. It pisses them off so bad. I'll leave it
Abs-
in there, but I say adjust or deny.
Absolutely. 100%. That's the fact, guys. If you guys are negotiating your files and they want you to remove something that you did, like HEPA vacuuming, don't delete it. Just change your note to adjust or denied,
Yep.
because if you ever have to go to court and it's not on your invoice that you did
Mhm.
this, and someone's like,
Mhm.
well, I got sick because of mold. Well, we HEPA vacuumed. Show me your proof. And if you can't find the photos, well, hey, it's still in the estimate. You can see we didn't charge you for it, but we did do it.
Yeah. All right, Wally, I love you, man. That's awesome. Yeah, they do. They read all of the user defined bypass comments.
So guys, violations are stuff you must do. Warnings are, hey, you probably need to do this. Your cautions are, you might want to do this. So let's see what the cautions are, because this
Yeah,
is
this
usually
is
where I
where I
find
get
money.
bogged down, and I'd like to bypass. I like a bulk bypass on this because
But
I'll read through it, but what happens for me, and I'm just saying this because I know Mark's listening. It has a tendency to repeat the same thing, but I still want to read the entire list to see if I'm missing anything, and those repeats are in the way. If I decide early on, okay, this one doesn't apply, I want to get them all out of my way so I can continue reading the rest of them. I mean, I've had ones with 150 cautions, and I'm like, oh, I'm tired of scrolling. I'm going to give up.
yeah.
So
So line item 14 here, guys, we have the dumpster here, and this is saying, hey, you might want to put some plywood down underneath that dumpster, which I'm surprised I didn't get charged for that. That's a
I'm
fair.
surprised that's not a warning. I would put that as a warning. I'll use that every single time, every time.
So FRM, and then we're going to do UL 3/4 dubba dubba, and then we're going to say material
Material
only,
only. Yep.
and then we're going to turn the minimum group.
32. I
Oh,
do
no, no, no! Watch
32
this! Watch
times
this! Watch this! Watch
4.
this! Well,
What's
I
that?
do. Hang on, hang on. It's a 4x8 sheet,
32.
and then you're going to probably use a minimum of two or
I'd
three.
I'd use. Oh, you're right, because you don't need any in the middle necessarily, but I use 4. I usually go that times
Okay.
4.
So there's that one there. HMR may warrant a temporary safety
Mm,
shower.
mm,
Because I'm
yeah,
doing HMR work, they might need to go rinse off. And not on this
I
one here.
yeah, not on this one here.
Confined faced vari of clean floor roof. Oh, so let's see here. So 27 here, I have clean joist, but it registered the confined space variant for of cleaning the floor roof joint is JSC. So I have in here, oh, because this is, I don't need this confined space because it's going to be all opened up by the time I'm done with it. I thought that was in the crawl space, but
Uh, mhm.
if you're not tearing all your roofs down, you're in a confined space up in the attic space working, you might want to charge
Yep,
that.
yep.
Um, Additional charge for soda blasting and confined area.
Low
It's all
headroom.
it's all going to be
Hmm.
opened up, so I'm not really concerned about the low head space. Confined space add-on for short walls. I'm not worried about that one.
Did you leave the cleaning in there? Did you leave the
No,
cleaning
no,
for
I
soda?
don't have to do that.
All
No.
right, Watley, cleaning for soda. We gotta do it.
Yeah, you may need air. You may need lay flat if you're going to duct your negative airs out, or you might use flexible intakes. Those are good ones
Okay,
and stuff.
nice.
When negative air machines are deployed, it may be warranted to incorporate setup and take down with HMR labor.
We
That one
did
there,
that though.
well, this is probably an old trigger from before they made the HMR EQ add-on like a month ago.
Oh, you're right.
So,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
we're not. Here's
just
a
an
great one.
artifact. Okay.
Here's a good one, guys, and this is true especially on reconstructions. Like everyone knows, if you're doing contents, you might need a storage pod for your contents. But where are you storing all these materials when they show up at the job site? Are you just storing them in the middle of the floor for all the guys to have to work
Mm.
around?
And
Maybe.
this is a house you're gutting to the studs. It's not gonna be secure.
Well, I mean, and yeah. So I mean, it's a very good idea to put in for a job site cargo container or moving container. to store all of your materials
Absolutely.
as they show up.
Yeah, there's no good reason to eat that as part of your overhead. Um,
It's a job
yeah,
specific.
it's job specific. Job
uh,
cost. Yep.
Code upgrade. I'm not worried about code upgrade. Floor protection.
Nope, we're not worried
Not
about
worried about
protecting the
that.
floor.
Uh, ELE RCV. You might need a mega hammer testing. Well,
Ma
that's
on the repairs for sure.
well. I think it's. I mean, even here, I think technically, if I was going to charge that equipment econ line item a little differently, I would charge for the mega test to have them test the main breaker system and make sure it's going to work right.
Mm, okay.
But HMR cleaning line items may contain or may warrant containment. It's a full gut. I don't have to worry about that one. Performing cleaning activities within the HMR category may require personal protection, PPE plus. I'm not going to go with PPE plus because nothing's really wet.
I swear there are rules for cleaning up after soda blasting. Hmm,
HMR suit
well,
may warrant PPE concession for boots,
figure
for
it
eye
out, Watley.
for eye goggles. Well, I've got full face respirators there, so I'm not worried about that. Temporary fence may be required. That's a good one in some situations, especially
Yeah,
if you're in an
for
area where people
sure.
like to steal copper.
In Atlanta, maybe? God, I had a job turn from a 2 units out of 10 in a building, uh, of a fire to all 10 units because someone broke in. We had temp fencing, but they got around it and they went through it and stole all the copper.
Yeah,
And since they opened up the walls to steal the copper and all those walls came up as hot for asbestos, we had to gut the entire building to studs. So, yeah, temp fencing.
this is wanting me to
And
do
you know what I haven't seen is a line item for, um, like a security guard, like a around the clock security guard.
I've had that numerous times on numerous, usually
Yeah,
big, large scale
for
commercials, but
sure.
still. Temporary power box may require temp power cables. Now, this is what I'll tell everybody. The reason why, I mean, if I was doing a water job, I'm always going to use that cable there because
Mhm.
this cable, because your power distribution box, the line item guys literally does read a short power cable may be integrated. So like a 2 to 3 foot long little pigtail on it.
Yeah,
So,
that's not gonna do you much good.
but technically speaking, the econ line item here
Comes with
includes
it.
a 75-foot run of cable.
Got it.
So I can let that slide there.
Nice.
May warrant negative air fan. Number 19 may warrant a HEPA. I don't get why it's trying to trigger the WTR on the HM.
Mm.
I mean, overall, I mean, guys, you got to remember also, like, I've been writing for a long time. The fact that I don't have a lot of errors that I can add into this is probably just due to experience.
Yeah.
But I
What warning came up that's new? Oh,
oh,
0.
it's
0
a zero
quantity. Okay,
quantity still.
nice. Okay.
But okay, so back to what I was saying, guys. You want to add in your material
What were you
component
saying?
about material markup. I'm going to teach you guys a little
Material
trick.
markup, yes.
Parameters. Go to your sales tax. I'm going to hit add a new line item, and I'm going to call this material material markup and markup 20%. And my base calculation that this is on is going to be based on my material only. I don't need to worry about the equipment or labor.
What? Wait a minute, slow
And
down, do it again, do it again.
you just click the calculator, click your function, and there's
Functions
your
get
material
out.
only. I'm going to say
My mind is
20%,
blown.
20% there, and then this is going to be OMP. Now,
Mhm.
because I'm OCD, guys, I want this to be at the very top of my list. And I'm
Sure.
going to hit
Right.
OK. Now,
Oh my god.
when I go to print this off, and guys, for everyone that just saw when you try to when I go to try to go to reports, it comes up with all these rules that it wants you to bypass and everything.
You had 1 to bypass. You're 0 quantity, you gotta bypass.
Oh,
There you go.
well, if it gets locked in where you guys are at there, guys, all you got to do, close it out,
And
go
then print it from
and
there.
then print it
Yeah.
from here,
Yep.
and you're golden. Now, that 20% markup that I added to my file, everyone, you're going to see it right about right there. Line item total and there's that material markup on just the materials alone. And when you do it this way, I don't have to go back through and redo the math later on. I can literally add, change anything I want in the system, and it's
It's just
automatically going
gonna
to update it.
automatically adjust. That is genius. You're a goddamn genius, Gump.
Or let's go a step further here, guys. How many of you guys have to do a commercial? Maybe you're doing a little strip mall or some kind of a business that wants you to come in after hours, right?
Mm,
And we all know that there's no after hour rates on reconstruction and Exactimate, right? So
no.
I can go here to my parameters, and I'm going to say, oh, this is all has to be done after hours. So I'm going to say after hours premium. I'm going to go to my calculator function, and I'm going to say labor only, and
Anytime, Watley. Anytime, Watley. Thanks for
I
being
need
here,
to
man.
add 50% because time and a half. So I'm adding the half to all my labor, and I'm going to pop that up as well. And now when I do my report here, and now when I do my report here,
You know what's
uh,
funny? That used to be a client of mine. I know exactly who you're writing for.
I try my best not to show
I know.
everything.
You went right.
Um, O&P on taxes. There we go. That's what I
Okay.
want. And just
Wait, wait,
because
wait,
you're
wait. Go back. I was distracted by comments and stuff. What go back to okay, after hours premium, labor, but that's only if all the hours are after hours, right?
okay, well, okay, let's just say that it's half the job. So point 0.5 of the labor needs to have half.
Uh
Does
okay,
that make
okay.
sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So I can do it like that.
Jiminy Christmas.
Or I could write an
That
entire
is
water job.
incredibly useful.
And I could write an entire water job and never use an after hours line item again and just throw it in at
Yes.
that point there.
Yes.
And now when I go and look back here at my little thingamajigger right here, it's going to say after hour premium. And that's based simply on the half on the labor only, or the labor only, and this is only on the material per Exactimate.
Good
I don't have
lord.
to do any math. I don't have to do anything else besides just put that calculation in,
All
and I'm
right.
done.
And all y'all got this for the low price of free
No, it
just for
required you to be
being
a member of the Rebels.
I love it. Oh, I love it. All right, let's call it. Let's call that. Um, okay, I got a secret private chat question. How do you account for the flooring areas that Exactimate does not give you? I have no idea what that means. The flooring
So,
area. What flooring areas would Exactimate not give us? You
well,
mean
if you have
under
your
the stud walls?
well, I'm assuming he's talking about flooring area, like say, like you got to clean the cabinets, or you got to clean the subfloor, but then your tile floor doesn't go underneath the cabinets. You just either,
Hmm.
or there's that variable little square underneath the cabinets.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Hmm.
that's on
Oh
your.
wait. We got. How long you been sitting there, Tommy?
Uh,
I just
Hi,
noticed you sitting
Tommy.
there. I'm sorry. Welcome.
Hold on. Hold on.
Uh oh.
I don't understand this thing.
Neither do I. I just make it up as I go along.
Can you hear me?
I can. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The flooring that I'm talking about is build two 12 by 12 rooms for me real quick,
Okay.
and then put wood flooring in both of them.
All right. Give me a second here.
So,
Screen one.
288 square foot. Okay.
All right.
All right. Here you go.
Now
Here you go.
put
Oh,
a
he got kicked out again.
No, I just
now
had it closed. I
hold
had it
on.
closed out.
Oh,
Now once you do that, put a 6-foot cased opening between them. So
okay.
missing wall, six
Missing
foot.
wall. Oh, it's gonna take that 4 inches times that linear foot and subtract that from your square footage, isn't it?
No, it doesn't give it to you extra. you should have 6 times 4 inches.
Oh,
So that's 2 additional square foot. That's
oh.
not given to you.
Well, let's take a look here and see.
Well, well,
Room.
Mr. Doyce, you are precisely the person that would think of something like this over 2 square foot of flooring. But I
Well,
love.
no, but see, here's the issue. I had a house that had the flooring was the material itself was $68 a square foot, and it was throughout the house.
Mm,
That's a lot of money
that adds up.
if you do the whole house. Now, the
Mm.
other place that we as estimators lose square footage is when we put cabinets in. The cabinets that we're placing in does not have a toe kick cut out for the additional 3 inches of flooring.
I
Mm.
always drop my cabinets back to 1'10" if I have
Oh,
flooring being done. Because if I'm just worried about if I'm not worried about the floors only, I'll leave it at 2 for countertops, but I'll
God,
do
you guys are
1'15".
making me feel terrible. I thought I was a professional.
But, guys, on your variables here, I wanna remove the floor underneath it,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe I don't wanna remove the square foot under because I gotta clean the subfloor underneath it.
Well, see, I understand what you're doing there, and Joe's, but here's the thing: when you do that, you're creating more square footage on the walls than you're supposed to.
Mm.
So you need to account for just the notch.
Oh, you mean on this wall here where because it's coming in a little bit.
Right. If it's
Yeah.
on, if it's against the 2 walls, then you're creating additional square footage on the walls.
Yeah, because
So
see, like,
you
here's
need to have what I've done was put two a reference, build the cabinet like you have it, and then put a reference block right on top of it, raise it up 3-4 inches off the ground, and then that's it'll
Mm.
take away the wall.
Mm.
I see what you're
Right. Well,
saying.
delete that door. I want to know how many square foot of floor it has in
Well,
there.
This is
it's
still
just it
288,
makes a
but
difference
that's
when it's a big house and a big job. When
Yes.
yeah.
it's just one room, it's just a
Oh, it
foot
didn't
or
change. I
whatever.
see.
Oh, here we go. Hang on, hang on. Let me try something real quick. That's door one. So floor plus door one linear feet. And now it's taking account.
But no, that's over because it's per linear foot. You're only getting a quarter of a foot. So,
So
or
hang on,
what it was 4 inches. So
4 inches. So it'd be 289.67.
okay.
I mean, that's what you would actually have to add in there if the floor does go through this here. That's also why a lot of people, you do your FCW, LAMT, your transit. A lot of people put the T molding in here
Mm,
because,
okay.
and see, that just calls it as 5 linear feet there. So I mean,
Yep.
if it was me, I'd probably just do it like that and say, there, I'm accounting for the floor that goes between the under the door there,
Got it.
and
Huh.
then like Tommy said, here's the thing, guys. If I put a cabinet in here, let me make sure the view looks right here. Classic textures will look best on here. So if I do a cabinet in here, here's my cabinet, and it's so far out, but this is a default here. This is 2 foot wide, and visually you can see where the toe kick comes back here at, but it doesn't take into account that knockback on it. I mean, this is literally, and we'll do it just simple here, 12 by 12, 144 square feet. I put my block in here. So this is 6 square feet being removed. And as soon as I take this away and I say, yeah, remove underneath it because I'm not putting hardwood floor underneath it, it's going to be 138.
Hmm.
And that's
Now,
6 square feet. But really, as far as flooring goes, it's going to
A lot
be
less. Yeah.
now flooring would be right.
138.5.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you can reduce that cabinet width without reducing the linear footage, so you still get compensated for the cabinet.
Mhm.
Okay.
But the problem is now that this cabinet's not 2 foot wide, since it's not 2 foot wide this way anymore, you're going to have 2 inches times 3 foot, so 6 square inches on this one wall right here that is not going to be, or that's going to be exposed, getting that might over you on your painting, or or if you're doing the flooring here to make it, you're going to be right on your painting, but you're going to be wrong on your flooring. And I mean,
Mhm.
on small jobs, guys, this kind of a OCD obsession that you're hearing us talk about doesn't mean crap to you guys. But you start doing a big old
Bigger
project,
job for sure. For
those
sure.
are fun.
Yeah. And then the other thing is not just the missing wall, it's the same thing for doorways. When you put a door there, it doesn't give you the extra footage.
Mm.
Yeah, so if that's the case there for your door,
Now what is funny for the carpet, it does when you
well, let's
do
see
the
here.
drop and fill,
Let's see
because you
here.
can see the carpet cutouts
Plus
on
door, linear
on the
floor,
layout.
plus door, plus door,
Mm.
linear foot.
I
And
think
then if
we're
I do
geeking out too much here, boys.
FCCAV,
I can smell dinner in the other room.
that's giving you 49.
Nice. Awesome.
There's your big square there. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's accounting for overages there. That's for sure. Interesting, Tommy. I'll have to look into that one.
Nice.
So,
All right. Next week, let's do it again. 5:30 Pacific. Restoration Rebel Roundtable. We'll see you guys. Be good. Later.
bye,
Oh,
everybody.
hey. We're sitting at 4 weeks out from the RIA conference in Dallas. So be there or be square. So, all right. See you guys.